Hello, my empowerment lovelies. I hope you find this video interesting. Please remember to do all that social stuff. Subscribe and click the bell and whatever that stuff is. I will list below some of the other websites and social links and whatnot to me. You may choose to follow my art. You may choose to follow my structural and informational business. You may decide that the intuitive part is what you hook to. It's all good. You don't have to be connected to all of it. Again, the goal is just for you to be connected and self-empowered. That's why I call the channel DIY Empowerment, because you can self-empower, but perhaps you need some words or explanations or new perceptions on how to shift your life. The majority of what I do is create a space where if there's confusion in an aspect of your life or in your health or business, relationships, whatever, likely is that there is some sort of pattern that needs a new perception, a belief change, some action steps to create a new muscle, a new memory, get rid of old scar tissue, whatever. I come from the body-mind background, and I know deep in my soul the truth that the body holds all the memories of your past and has the capacity to change on a dime. It also has a desire to change regularly, update regularly. It is very similar to the technology that we have now. They didn't get the internet out of nowhere. It actually came out of nature and science. So now we're in a place where we're merging these things together, and we want to, not only my generation, the generations before me, want to put down the technology. And yes, I understand that, and to some degree that's true. It has dehumanized our society. However, there are aspects of it which we want to allow to empower us as well. Knowledge, information, rapid timing of change, and certainly connection. So we want to utilize that is around us. Being able to update and upgrade will keep you self-empowered, will also keep you from growing old because you're staying up to date with things. And hopefully the way to connect will bridge back into a combination of technology and humanistic needs. It's a little out of balance right now. So for today, being challenge number 1 of the month of February, which will be daily, I am challenging myself to not self-criticize. I grew up in a very self-critical environment, external criticism as well as, got a hair in my mouth. There you go. I think I got it. Nope. Self-critical, perfection required kind of background. And I don't think that's unusual. But the dominance of my life has been to release that and grow from it. And really want to spread the idea of using your past to better yourself instead of bitter yourself. Bittering and being bitter about things that happen to you in your life, and I'm not excusing dramatic issues, those are included in this. They do happen, unfortunately, and on some level there is a capacity to empower beyond it. And not just cover it over, but actually use its qualities as part of who you are and your self-definition. So, for example, myself, in my life, I was a dancer, athlete, blah, blah, blah. I, in my core, have, for whatever reason, I guess I came in with it, have a very courageous nature. Now, I didn't necessarily have the same courage that other people wanted me to have, but the courage to endure became really part of who I am. I endured defecting to this country with my family. I endured being very different, and still enduring that. I have endured being mostly in silence internally, as far as being able to self-express for most of my life. So enduring, I've endured massive amounts of pain at different levels and different places in my life. And still, I have a desire to learn, grow, be strong, even with all those scar tissues. And so I put a challenge out to you. If I consider endurance a gift for myself, and I recognized how I can use it in a positive way, which means when I'm self-criticizing, when I am feeling depressed, when I am feeling lost and misunderstood, and all those natural human emotions, I often refer myself to as an alien because, yeah, maybe we'll go into that later. So I've used that shift now into using that as a positive attribute. So your challenge is, what is a potentially scarred tissue characteristic or scarred tissue event in your life, something that's created personal emotional trauma for you? It doesn't have to be massive, it could be something small. And how can you investigate the positive side of what you had to do to get through that, to empower yourself today by using it as an attribute? So that's your challenge. Is that clear? I think you get it. So yeah, so I'm gonna give you another challenge tomorrow, being February 2nd. Today being February 1st. And I am hopefully going to figure out what I'm going to talk to you about, because I haven't decided yet. So, in the meantime, I have my little Nomi friend here who is guiding our way today. And I have my selenite, which helps us stay clear together. And I dropped my moss. I love moss. I just love moss. I got this out of the mountains up near the sequoias. I also have my amethyst, which I adore, my sage, and now we're going to draw a card as an affirmation to what we were talking about. So I have my cards here, and I'm going to shuffle it. And in the meantime, I want you to start thinking about, what did you consider a negative influence in your life? Maybe a better way to state it. A negative influence in your life, and you've held on to it as a negative part of your being. And now your challenge is to see what is it in a positive light that you had to be able to do to be able to endure or be able to get through, so we can finally heal that. We all have micro and macro examples of this, and so pick your psyche's only going to allow you to pick the one that's the most comfortable, and that's cool. That's a place to start, and that's where we'll start. So I am picking a card here. Alright, so I'm going to show you that I'm not looking. This one. So, you see first, because I can't see through the camera. Retreat. Okay, so retreat. So before you begin your investigation and your observation, I really want you to use this like a reporter doing a research. Don't do it on the personal side. Really get yourself centered and ask yourself to see this as if you were an investigator or a reporter. So the retreat card tells you that you need to really plant yourself within a safe zone. And I'm going to give you a strengthening exercise next time. I just want you to do this without it this time. But I do want you to make sure you're in a clear space and make sure your feet are on the ground, that your spine is tall unless you're lying down. And bring your focus of your energy behind your heart, but in front of your spine. And in that space is where basically it's the seat of your soul, as I have been told. And from there, just take some really nice deep breaths. Please don't just belly breathe. I really want you to get the rib cage engaged in your breathing. Let the shoulders open up. Lift your head off your pelvis, and don't belly breathe. Breathe with your rib cage, but think of it as a big organ, right? Accordion, and it's going to expand and contract as you breathe. And use your abdominal muscles to hold in the strength of your spine, as well as force the breath higher up towards the clavicle area. And that focus in that seat of the soul, behind the heart but in front of the spine. Take some breaths and just let your focus be there. Okay? You may get visions, you may get an image, you may get color, you may get a rock, you may get a kitty cat. Nothing's wrong, okay? But just let that image guide you into which focus of your past that you want to look at. Okay? So more tomorrow. I wish you lots of guidance, and go and empower yourself with this exercise. And I thank you for listening. Thank you.